The cold winter wind swept across the quiet city park, carrying tiny flakes of snow that slowly settled on the empty benches and frozen pathways. Late in the evening, the park lights flickered on, casting a warm glow over the icy ground. Inside a sleek black car parked near the entrance, a billionaire businessman sat silently in the back seat, staring out the window as snow tapped softly against the glass. He had just finished another exhausting meeting and had asked his driver to take the longer road home, hoping the quiet park road would calm his restless mind. But as the car slowly passed the park benches, something unusual caught his attention. His eyes froze on a familiar figure sitting beneath the dim streetlight. A young woman in a worn gray coat sat on a cold metal bench, her head slightly lowered as she typed quickly on her phone, her fingers trembling in the freezing air. Beside her were two small children wrapped in thin winter jackets, shivering as they sat quietly, their small faces pale from the cold. For a moment, the billionaire's breath stopped. His heart pounded as he leaned closer to the window, trying to see clearly through the falling snow. The woman looked up briefly, and in that instant, time seemed to stand still. It was her. The woman he had loved years ago. The woman who had suddenly disappeared from his life without explanation. His ex-lover. The driver continued forward, unaware of the storm of emotions raging inside the car, but the billionaire quickly raised his hand and whispered urgently, "Stop the car." The car halted beside the snowy curb, and he stepped out slowly, the cold wind biting against his face. His eyes moved again toward the bench. The woman was still focused on her phone, sending message after message, as if desperately searching for someone to help them. The two children beside her looked exhausted and hungry, their small hands tucked deep inside their sleeves. The billionaire's mind raced with questions. Why was she here? Why did she look so helpless? And who were those children? As he took a few careful steps closer, the little boy noticed him first and gently nudged the girl beside him. The woman finally looked up from her phone, and when her eyes met his, shock spread across her face. For several long seconds, neither of them spoke. The past they had both tried to bury suddenly stood between them like a shadow. Snowflakes continued to fall silently around them, making the moment feel almost unreal. The billionaire's voice finally broke the silence, low and trembling. "Emily, is that really you?" Her lips parted slightly, but words struggled to come out. She looked down at the two children beside her, then back at him with a mixture of fear, embarrassment, and pain. "I didn't expect to see you again," she whispered softly. The billionaire's gaze shifted slowly toward the children, and something deep inside him stirred when he noticed how much the little boy's eyes resembled his own. His heart skipped a beat. Questions flooded his mind, but before he could speak again, the woman's phone buzzed loudly in her hands. She glanced at the screen and sighed with disappointment. "No one's answering," she murmured quietly, as if the last bit of hope had just slipped away. The billionaire felt a heavy weight settle in his chest. The woman he once loved was sitting on a freezing park bench with two children, desperately texting strangers for a place to sleep. In that moment, he realized fate had just placed something unexpected back into his life, something he could no longer ignore. But what he was about to discover next would shake his world far more than he ever imagined. If this moment has already captured your heart, make sure to subscribe to the channel and stay with us, because the story of what happens next will reveal secrets, emotions, and a reunion that will change all their lives forever.